Hello and welcome to the third episode of the Half Story podcast with me, Matt Johns.
And me, Lizzie Ford.
And this week we've got a special guest from a slightly worse podcast, Talking Irons, Jack Hobbs.
Hello, happy to be here, sort of. I do not come from a lesser podcast, but I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Just a bit of background. Jack, do you want to introduce yourself to the crew, to the fans?
Okay, well, as I said before, my name is Jack Hobbs, and I am a co-host of the Talking Irons podcast. We're a West Ham podcast. Make sure to listen after this, obviously.
They need the views. I'm
not lying, we do need the views.
Joking.
Please, we need charity.
Coincidentally, he's also the boyfriend mentioned in the last podcast.
Oh yeah, that's me.
But yeah, last podcast was obviously talking about overrated and underrated players, and pretty much everyone that I said was overrated scored. So take that as you will.
Yeah, we don't know anything about football.
That's why we're just sitting in a room talking to a microphone.
Actually, you can't stop talking about the run of the Champions League contenders that hammers at the moment. I mean, they won again at the weekend against Leicester.
Oh,
I mean, what do you have to say? Like, honestly,
as much as I'm enjoying this, I think I'm going to get a heart attack by the end of this season if they keep going 3-0 up and then almost bottling it. I can't take it anymore. So
It's happened like three times.
It's literally three times.
On the bounce.
Yeah, on the bounce. Like we went 3-0 up against Arsenal, then we did bottle it and drew 3-0. Then nearly bottled it to Wolves, and then we nearly bottled it to Leicester again.
Yeah.
We can't keep doing that because game management needs to step in.
I mean,
really.
get caught by like a Chelsea or something.
If this happens at Chelsea, we get caught out. So
I'd be surprised if we went 3-0 against Chelsea.
No,
but you never know.
You never know. West Brom did it. So
oh, yeah.
5 something.
5-2 on it. I'm ecstatic about the game on the weekend.
I think especially like the contrast of like how you expected you were going to do like compared to last season. Like it's literally ridiculous.
Yeah, we were laughing about this earlier actually, because I said at the start of last season I was like, we're going to get potentially Champions League, Europa League, then we nearly went down, and at the start of this season I was like, yeah, we're going to probably go down, and then we're fighting for Champions League.
Well, I think I said the same. Like, I think we all said that West Ham were going to go down, didn't we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in my
predictions
I had West Ham, West Brom and Fulham to go down.
Yeah. I mean,
obviously,
you might get two right.
We're too big to go down. We're massive, so.
Well, yeah, you are, but it's happened before.
I really want Fulham to stay up though.
Me
I
too.
really genuinely
Me too, but
do.
I think my hope is like
fading.
I've literally at the moment I've probably got more hope of West Brom.
Yeah.
Well, it was one of those things. Like obviously when we won the other day, I was happy for us, but like there was tears on the pitch. Like it was really sad to watch the Fulham players.
Wasn't Parker like good?
No,
Lamina
was crying, like full on in tears.
I've seen a picture of Parker like turned away when he scored.
It was really sad.
Well, obviously, speaking of West Ham, you can't really talk about West Ham without talking about Jesse Lingard at the moment. I mean, it's happening.
Jay Lings, baby.
Messy Lingard.
Yeah, Lingardinho. But, absolutely phenomenal impact he's made, and he's turned very quickly into a fan favourite, and we're desperate to keep him, and I don't think anyone could have predicted the impact that he's had at the club. There were quite a few people that were disappointed with the signing, myself included, but I think most of us were disappointed in the fact that it wasn't something that we thought we needed. So we needed a centre mid or a striker in the summer. In January. And then we obviously went and signed Lingard on loan, who's a cam or a winger, and obviously we were a bit confused because how does that help our squad depth? But obviously Moyes was turned out to be right, and thank God he did it because he's been sensational.
speaking of squad depth, considering how we've probably got
He's
6 people in our squad at the minute, just for the fans out there, Pedro Neto's out for 6 months, and I'm gutted for the kid because he's going to miss the Euros with Portugal. Neves has also got COVID, and Willy Bolly's got COVID. I really don't know how we're gonna, like, our squad's gonna
cope.
I know we've only got 6 or 7 games left.
You're not going down, right? Surely.
No, but we are gonna crawl past the finish line.
Yeah, it's gonna be tight.
It's gonna be grim.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you've got I know what you mean.
We don't have a bench. Like,
it is nice to finish the season on a
literally
on a good way.
John Ruddy and a bunch of children. That's the bench that we've got. It's like a church pew.
You never know, though. You never know, because it's sometimes situations like this where you see future stars come out. So, like, I'd be looking at, like, the likes of, like, Fabio Silva, Ottawasi.
It's time to shine.
Maybe even Gibbs White to step up.
Speaking of Lingard, do you think he's going to sign for you?
Yeah. I don't see why he wouldn't.
He's been moonwalking in the dressing room. Like, where else is he's going to moonwalk into the contract?
Exactly. He's loving his time here. He's getting on really well. He's got a really close relationship with the West Ham players. He loves London. Why would you go back to that toxic environment at Man United?
Yeah.
And if, like, you've got no brain cells like Jamie O'Hara, why would you want to go to Spurs as well? Right? Spurs are below us, Arsenal are below us.
Yeah.
But yeah, why would you go to a club that have been worse this season and both are crumbling? So why would you change a winning formula? Do you know what I mean?
And if anything, Tottenham is more toxic at the moment than Man United.
Yeah, true.
Because it just doesn't look good. Mourinho seems to be blaming other players, and I would say, like, Lingard just seems happy as well. Like, obviously he's playing really well, good football, but he just looks happier.
Yeah, like,
I agree with that.
No pressure. Like, I think back in Manchester he's got a lot of family issues, and I think he's a bit more free here, and obviously that will help him a lot, I think, personally.
The topic of this week is player loyalty. Should a player stay at a club to just be like a fan favourite?
Like a club legend. For a statue, or should they move on to better their career?
Their own career. This is very well suggested by Elizabeth herself.
Thank you.
She would kill me if I didn't give her the credit for it. Obviously, you, Jack, have got a club legend in Mark Noble. Yeah. He's retiring next season. How do you feel about that?
I'll be definitely sad to see him go, but I think it's the right time.
Yeah. Last have a Champions League run.
Exactly.
Get Noble at the new camp.
Last run out for him against Real Madrid away, and he's going to bag 3 penalties and get a hat trick.
I mean, do you think he'll go into like a coaching role?
I think so. He's actually been spending a lot of time with our academy and looking after the sort of younger players and trying to help them develop. So I think that is probably the role he'd go on. I would like him to possibly do that and join Moyes' coaching staff, like the background staff.
Like Kevin Nolan.
Yeah, to have him in that dressing room like at half time. Let's say we're like 1-0 down to Brighton at half time. Let's say that's happening, and then Mark Noble comes in and gives them all like a massive rant.
Yeah.
So
we know the word you wanted to use. Yeah. But he knows the club better than anyone, so why?
Exactly. It wouldn't make any sense to let him just go somewhere else.
Because in his career, he's only been at 2 of the clubs on loan, hasn't he? He was at Hull and Ipswich.
Yeah.
Was it when he was younger?
Yeah. It was a season after he made his debut.
That's understandable.
And he only went on loan for, I think, 3 months and 6 months. So he only spent a total of 9 months on loan, I'm pretty sure. So it doesn't really count, does it?
No one remembers it. Like, besides, I think unless you know it, like,
exactly, yeah,
no one really cares.
No.
From a personal perspective, say if you were a footballer, if you're at West Ham, would you rather become a club legend for your club, or would you rather move on to, let's say, like a Madrid, a Barcelona, or Man City to further your career?
Well, it depends on a lot of things, doesn't it? Really, obviously, you always want to be that club legend for your boyhood team. Obviously, it would depend on what you've won, how you're playing, what opportunities you have in it. So, and let's say if I was at West Ham, like peak of my career, and let's say West Ham went down, then you obviously think about maybe leaving. But I probably would stay, because you obviously want to. It's your own club, but it depends on a lot. It's obviously
massive. Obviously, and also the money is a massive factor. Like, because that's what a lot of players do, go for the money.
Yeah, obviously, if you've been at West Ham, let's say you've been at West Ham for like 7 years, and then you're offered 150k a week at Man City or something like that, you're going to be very difficult to turn down that sort of money, which will set you up for life and the opportunity to win trophies, which you might not be able to do at West Ham. We never know, we might turn into a massive club.
You do find sometimes like a player leaves to better their career, like, because it's the right time. For example, like Jude Bellingham.
Yeah, exactly.
And then,
yeah, but was that worthy of retiring his shirt?
Absolutely not.
That's a whole different issue, and I do not agree with that at all.
No, that was pathetic.
You find a lot of the time they come back to the club.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's what I would do. Like, if I spent a long time at West Ham, then went off for a couple of years to a bigger club like City,
Palace.
Then if I had the opportunity to go back, I would jump at it. Obviously, hypothetically speaking, but.
So what about you with the Wolves? Like, obviously,
at the minute, I'd say our player with, obviously this is current squad, not back in the day, but our player with the most reason, I'd suppose, to be a club legend is obviously Cody. But I think we've said this before, but I don't see him going anywhere anyway.
I think this is unlikely, but the only place I could see him going is Liverpool.
But that's just because that's his boyhood club.
Yeah.
And like, would he start every game? Probably
not.
Exactly.
Anymore, no.
So
not if Van Dijk and Gomez are fit.
Well, so
I think he's better than Gomez, but I don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Would you? So let's take Jack Grealish for example. 2 seasons ago, he got offered Tottenham.
Yeah.
And he wanted to go. Let's not forget, he wanted to leave. He handed in a transfer request, and he didn't turn up to training, right?
Yeah.
And Stevie Bruce said, "Nah, nada, no way." And now he's like signed another 5-year contract. And to me, I think now he wants it to be like, I want a statue outside the club, which is fair enough, and I can see him doing that.
But then they're in a better situation now, club-wise as well.
But if he had moved to Tottenham in that instance anyway, would that have hindered his career? Would he have got played? Like, do you know what I mean?
He wouldn't. He might have got a chance, but I don't think he'd be at the level he is now.
Neither do I, actually.
He's developed very well with Villa, and he's been the main man. He's been given.
And that's why I think now he won't. He'd want a statue.
And I think he's better than Moura. But if you look at like Tottenham's front lineup, it's very strong. Like, and it's like, I think Moura is a very good player, and he gets left out a lot. Yeah.
I can see the two sides of the argument for Grealish. I think either he will stay or he's either going to leave in a year or so. If Villa keeps getting like sort of mid-table, I think he's just going to. At the end of the day, like, a player's career is short, and you play to win, don't you?
Well,
so
he could play the Champions League.
He's more
at least the Europa League.
Exactly. So, like, you could see him, if not going to like a top club, you could see him going to Everton, who are definitely leaps and bounds above Aston Villa. But maybe like Everton or a Spurs, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think there's room. Maybe if De Bruyne goes in a couple of seasons, he could replace De Bruyne.
Never.
He's always rumoured with Man United, but then who isn't rumoured with Man United?
Exactly.
And speaking of rumours with Man United, we have to go on to another player who's got a loyalty issue. He doesn't have an issue himself, but he has a dilemma. Declan Rice. He's linked with Chelsea and United. Obviously, Chelsea is the one with more of the links to him.
Credibility. Yeah.
So what's your opinion on it? Do you think, what do you think he should? Well, I don't know what you think he should do, but yeah.
Well, it all depends. I'll get on to what he should do afterwards, but I don't think that Chelsea will happen anymore, because the main reason Chelsea wanted him before and why the links were so strong was because of Lampard. Lampard was desperate for Rice, and that was apparently a big reason him getting sacked.
Lampard was desperate for Rice.
She's trying to get some
Could've
good
gone to
rents.
Saint.
Oh, that's really embarrassing.
Yeah, but it was good though. Leave it in the podcast.
Anyway, he was desperate to sign Declan, and obviously they weren't happy about the fact that they would have had to sign a ex-Chelsea player that they got rid of for the price we wanted. So he got the sack in the end, but they don't want him now anymore. So I don't think Rice will go to Chelsea now. I don't think he'd go to United either in for the next couple of years anyway, because there was stuff going on that he didn't want to go up north. And there's no reason to go there, is there, at the moment?
Don't blame him.
Exactly.
I can't live it.
Oh, I do. Why would you want to live in the sun?
It's a bit toxic, really. Like, at United, and I wouldn't want to.
Well,
just look at Lingard.
But is it? I think back then when Lingard was playing, it's toxic. But do you think it's toxic at the moment?
No, but I don't think they're.
I mean, it's because fans aren't there.
It sounds really silly, but they are second league, but they're not.
It's a bit toxic.
They're not
for
that good.
Danny Van Der Beek.
Big Donny.
Yeah, that's kind of
I feel sorry for him. Like that's one of those moves that he's tried to move to what is a bigger club, and it's just
not worked.
He doesn't even get played.
No, he's not even had a chance.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not like he's like had a bad performance. Like he just, and when he comes on, he's actually doing okay.
Oh, no.
It's just because of Fernandes.
But it's not. I feel like it is and it isn't. Like
he's a cam.
He could be fitted into the team somewhere. Surely.
Not really.
But when Pogba was injured, he could have.
If you're a cam, you can't play really anywhere else than cam. Because you can't play centre mid. It's too defensive. It limits your creativity.
Could he play on the right?
You can play on the wing, but like it's also not your main
position.
But
do you not think when Pogba was injured, he could have played?
No, because Pogba's.
Because Pogba can play like as an attacker when, because they have McFred, don't they?
Yeah.
McFred.
Fred and McTominay.
That's what they call him, McFred. So we were thinking, right, like the biggest candidates for loyalty. The issue at the moment, the dilemma, is obviously Rice is one of them, Kane, Grealish, and Zaha.
Mainly Zaha's that as soon as someone would bring up this topic of conversation, he is the player I'd instantly think of.
Yeah, I think it's because I kind of forget now because it's been rumoured every single transfer window, and it never happens. I'm at the point now I don't think it will happen.
I feel so sorry for him. A couple of seasons ago, one of the top players in the Premier League, and he's been absolutely ruined by Palace. It is borderline slavery what they're doing, to be honest. Because literally, he's handed a transfer request time after time after time. He's unhappy there. You can literally tell he's unhappy there. He wants to go, and they've ruined his career now. He's not going to be able to play at that top level at another club, which he could have done a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
If he had made that move to Arsenal, which he's been desperate for, it could have worked out well, especially for Palace, because they would have got about 60 odd million from him. They turned down 70 from Everton, didn't they?
Plus 2 players.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I don't know who they're kidding, but
it was probably because they wanted Champions League football. But
yeah, but obviously you've got to take baby steps, haven't you? He's not played European or Champions League football, has he? So you can't just immediately hop straight up to that, can you?
I do kind of respect that he might have had a few moments every now and there and again, but he does seem to have kept level headed, and he hasn't been too stroppy about it. He's carried on and kept playing well football.
But maybe he needs to be stroppy to force that move.
Or like Mahrez, and it's worked. Mahrez was stroppy and it was a bit of a git, but he got away with it.
Yeah.
And it's been beneficial.
Exactly.
And I wouldn't say it's been beneficial for Leicester, but they've moved on and they've got on with it.
Yeah.
Obviously then we've got this is very rumoured at the moment, because apparently it's been rumoured that if they don't get Champions League, which is looking more and more likely, Harry Kane has said he wants to leave Spurs. Do you think this will happen? Is it the time?
No.
You don't?
Because we all know Daniel Levy, and he's one of the tightest people in the league. He is honestly a rat. He will not let Kane leave. If he says he's not letting him leave to another Premier League rival, he's not letting him leave unless someone gives him 300 million. There is no way.
But then couldn't you argue right now that Kane is Tottenham?
Kane, I can stand by that. He is Tottenham. But without Kane, Spurs are comfortably 10th.
And Son.
Son's good.
But as a duo, they work well.
Yeah.
I think with Kane, doesn't it have so much bargaining power that he could get out. Like he has so much power that he could force a move out.
I think so. If he's refusing to play, and
I couldn't see him doing that though.
No, I can't see him doing it either. If City or United hand over £120 million, they're not going to say no.
It has to be over 100 million, I think.
I think £120 million is a very fair price for Kane, because that is considering
it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, but considering the current market, considering the player he is, considering the goal scoring and assists he's got, he's topping both the assist and goal scoring charts.
He's the PFA player.
I think that is very fair.
He should get player of the year
without being like quotation marks extortionate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, where would you see him going?
I can only see him the places that can afford him. I can only say United, City, PSG, Real Madrid or Barcelona, but I don't see him going abroad.
Well, see, I've always said either City or Madrid, and I could more see him in Madrid.
I can see him at Madrid.
He looks like I think it's because of the white shirt. But
I think it's going to be a fight this summer between those clubs over Haaland and Kane, because if you can't get Haaland, you're going to go for Kane.
To an extent, isn't Kane less of a risk?
Yeah.
Because he's proven himself for a longer period. Haaland is a very good player, and I think he is probably the future. But
destined for the top.
But Kane has proven himself for year on year.
Yeah.
And especially if you want to go Premier League as well, like he is like a guaranteed like 20 goals a season probably, and he's injured for a lot of the season, not a lot of the season, but he just get like a guaranteed injury a season.
Definitely.
Right, okay, so we thought we'd have to film a part 2 of this podcast because the first part was a bit brief, and also with the news this week about the Super League, we just thought we couldn't miss it, and we thought we had to talk about the Super League because it's just been the talking point of like not even just football, just across the globe because of the greed and the financial.
It couldn't wait till next week's podcast, realistically.
Even though we've probably going to release it next week because a bit busy, and the pubs are open.
That's playing a major role.
How do we start?
The problem is now it all kicked off, and within like 2 days it's all gone again.
Well, this is the thing, obviously they had like 16 teams, and actually part of it 6 were English, and obviously now it's been collapsed because of the outrage that it caused because of the fans, etc., and former players and like current players as well, but like there's still a lot of issues to sort of resolve, and there's still a lot of things going on in terms of the new Champions League format and other stuff. And what's your overriding feelings towards this whole situation?
Disappointed but not surprised. Like,
yeah,
when it first came out, like I was genuinely really upset.
Right, I know, yeah.
Because not only would change the face of football forever, but I mean, at the end of the day, we do like a sports-based course. Like quite a lot of my life revolves around football. Like, and I don't like change. I really struggle with change, and it just. If honestly, all it did was really stress me out for like 2 days. I was mega stressed because I thought that was the end of
what we know
of Premier League and what for my whole like 21 years on this earth, what I've viewed as football.
Sure, like the course is important stuff, but like football is something we look at every day. We take it in every day. We on Twitter, for example.
Exactly. And not only like obviously do I care about my team, but I care about West Ham for like my boyfriend's sake. I'd care about Coventry for your sake, for Aston Villa for my dad's sake. Like there's so many teams throughout all of the leagues that I know that someone supports them, so I know that their results or their games will affect that person.
It's not necessarily just a change in like anyone I know supports. For me, it's so embarrassing that like these like billionaire owners have thought this would be a good idea. Like, I don't care if they've apologised now. Like, they're only apologised because they've been found out to be like stupid idiots that are just so greedy that all they want is more money and not like to keep the credibility of the competition. I mean, let's be honest, right? Even though this has been like ended now, it's suspended, there's still financial problems across the leagues which need to be sorted anyway. Like, teams like Bury should not be allowed to just disband,
But that's exactly the thing. Like, throughout lockdown, Arsenal couldn't afford to furlough Gunnosaurus, but behind the whole scene we're making this £3.5 billion deal.
Well, that's why it's even more insensitive, because we're in the middle of a pandemic where the economy is like at a terrible point, and there's people who are losing jobs on furlough, and then these billionaire owners are just trying to change the face of sport forever and remove like the actual competition element of it, the point we all enjoy. Like, I think I would still not have liked it at all, but if they'd have had some sort of relegation, then maybe you could have seen a bit more competition to it. But like, it was literally like, these are the elite teams that keep up there, and also the elite teams. How
are not elite?
How are we involving Arsenal and Tottenham in that conversation? Sure, Arsenal do have a lot of history and they have won 3 Premier League titles. Arsenal are currently, where are Arsenal, like 9th? They're 9th, but on the level of points with Leeds.
Who are 10th?
Yes.
Just goal difference.
Yeah, so they're 9th level of points with newly promoted Leeds. Like,
And we did a double over them this season.
Spurs are in 6th. And they could, with games in hand, they could easily be in.
But this is the same Tottenham that got knocked out of the Europa League, got Dynamo
Zagreb. So a Dynamo Zagreb suddenly an elite team.
No, they haven't even got an official Twitter account.
Well, of course.
So,
of course, like, obviously shocks happen every now and then. That's normal. That's football. That's why we love it. But to put Tottenham in an elite league where, like, Tottenham, like, are the at the moment, I don't mind Tottenham, but Tottenham are the epitome of what this league is about. It's very American, and they're literally just like it's like American. They're a third world country wearing a Gucci belt, and Tottenham are an average team wearing a Gucci belt. They've got a nice stadium, they've got a lot of money, they've got the NFL like facilities or whatever.
It's like their students got their loan in, got them set, like, they used to shop at Primark, and now they've decided to splash it, or like a bit of Topman, a bit of River Island, all that, and now they're just like,
Topman and River Island a bit elite. I suppose they have Primark maybe.
To me it is, bloody hell.
Well, but I don't think sometimes you should stick to your roots, because Primark is good.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like,
proper bargain, proper nice.
And just gets the job done, doesn't it?
Exactly. I mean, people are queuing outside because Primark is British culture, and I think this league was very like Americanised, like
yeah,
like the American, and that just destroys everything we love. Like, we are there's a massive difference between Britain and America, and
yeah, and like,
and we love the way we are.
Exactly, like when Leeds were cracking jokes, like calling them like Liverpool like the Merseyside Reds, and Tottenham like the London Whites. The thing is, though, that's what probably would have happened. That's the saddest thing. We would have lost all identity of like football, and football's not only is it a British sport, but it's a working class sport, ultimately, and that's what's so disgusting about it.
I mean, I have enjoyed seeing some of the social media content. I mean, I think Wolves are very good at this, like the whole
TikTok admin.
Well, the TikToks are great, and also like the Premier League champions 2018.
2018.
Yeah, that's just funny. I think Southampton did it as well. I think Burnley would have been champions one year.
Yeah, they would have been like 16 season. And
Sean Dyche, probably winner.
And then now our bio says no longer champions with a sad face.
It's funny, like, and also I think I commend Gary Neville on this whole situation. I think
I do. Like, ultimately,
you're not a big fan of him, but necessarily, but
yeah, like ultimately, it's not that I'm not a big fan of him.
I'm just indifferent.
Yeah, I'm not I don't like him and Carragher sometimes because at the end of the day they're United and Liverpool fans, and that's where it all goes back to, and that gets on my wick a little bit, as I don't care about United and Liverpool. But when it first came about, I'm pretty sure on the Sunday evening.
It was Sunday,
after it was a United game.
United Burnley.
Yeah, and it all came out, and what he said was bang on. I don't necessarily agree with where it all went. Like on the Monday Night Football, I think a lot of stuff got taken. It became a bit of a, for a bit better use of the fact, a bit of a pissing match. Like it became a bit like we should care about all football clubs but still making jabs at like football clubs. Do you know what I mean? That's not what I was about, but bang on what he said on the Sunday night was exactly my point of view on it.
Yeah, it was very powerful stuff. I mean, I'd also like there's been a real atmosphere around football this week. Like the football itself, the games have lost it because there's so much just. You've actually found like a lot of the big teams who were like meant to be involved, like Chelsea, City, Liverpool, Tottenham have been playing, and like there's just been an atmosphere in these games. The games were important. The whole thing was just surrounding the Super League. Obviously, there've been protests, which have had a big impact.
Apart from City, none of them. Tottenham got a penalty. Was a bit. I mean, they ended up winning against Southampton. But
so City and Tottenham won.
Yeah, but the
United won as well. That was before, right?
Yeah, but the Tottenham game was a bit like
touch and go.
Yeah, whereas City still conceded in like 26 seconds to John McGinn. Like, just put it that way. Like Super League who, like.
I actually think the whole thing surrounding it has had an effect, because like the Chelsea game, what I would say would be the pinnacle of that, because like there was just an atmosphere.
It was 0-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was an atmosphere around the game. I mean, yeah.
It was hard.
From this point, obviously they've all pulled out. Some of them apologised.
But they need to get penalised.
Yeah, well, this is my point. Should the punishment be?
It won't happen.
What do you think the punishment should be?
Either point deduction or expulsion from the league.
I think it should be.
Or they start the season next season on like minors,
well, that's what
like a Bolton and Bury situation.
Well, this is what I think they should deduct the points for next season. Like say like 12.
20. Oh.
No, like 20.
20 points.
Maybe I'm being generous.
No, 20. I mean, at the end of the day, this is the quote-unquote top 6. Surely they'll make 20 points back. Why would it be so terrible?
I think they should do point deduction for the teams and also a big fine to the owners. Not that it'll have a big impact, but like they should.
No, but it should, yeah.
They should, and
the money should go somewhere.
This is the thing. I've seen a lot of like social media, like fans should be punished for this. Like, but where's your same energy for the likes of Bolton, Bury, Portsmouth, Coventry, Sheffield Wednesday, etc.
I mean, even us, like 4 or 5 seasons ago.
Did you get deducted points?
We sold the club for £1 and a pie. No, we did.
Really?
Look,
what pie was it?
I'm gonna say steak and ale.
I do like steak and ale. For me, it's either steak and ale or chicken and mushroom.
Yeah, I'll go steak and ale, because you can get pie and a pint for £5 in the Molyneux. Not to promote, but like we ain't robbing. Like these other clubs.
That is quite good.
It is a good deal. Carling might even have beer rate. We might be pushing the boat out, I don't know. But what I'm trying to say is lots of clubs go through financial strain and nothing happens. I mean, even as much as I don't like Birmingham City, they got asset stripped. Like from their owners, they got absolutely demolished.
None of this is fair on the fans, but you can't have one rule for one of them. Well, not one of them.
Exactly.
You've just got to.
And to me, I don't care if they've said their half-arsed little apology of "we made a mistake, sorry," which is literally quote unquote what Arsenal said in their.
They're sorry
statement.
because they got found out.
Yeah, but what's going to annoy me the most is if the fans were angry for a day and now they don't. If they are completely fine with this and go and support them the way that they did before, what was the point? They may as well have just gone to Super League.
Yeah, I think this has to change football now, surely. No, because I think this isn't going to blow over anytime soon. And the thing is, right, there's still proposals for other stuff going on right now. Like there's talks about the Champions League changing, which aren't good either. Like
I've heard, yeah.
It's like there's still a bit of an elitist.
To do a table format.
There's still like an elitist format there.
I know.
And also there's talks of a British Super League with like invited Celtic and Rangers.
No, that can job.
Well, I don't like that idea, but I tell you what I would like. I think would work. Scrap the Carabao Cup, scrap the Scottish Cup, and have a British Cup. I think that would work. Because the Carabao Cup has lost, in my opinion, it's lost of it. Have a British Cup.
Man City just win it every year.
Yeah, but have a British Cup. Why not? Because then Celtic and Rangers can play in it without having like.
I just think it's sad that like the Carabao Cup and what was it originally? Like the Carling Cup.
Oh, it's changed names about 100 times.
I'm pretty
the Milk Cup, the Coca-Cola Cup. It's been called all sorts of names.
But I think the original was Carling Cup.
Well, from our era, I think definitely Carling is like the most prominent one. But it's like Capital One. It's been.
Yeah. Well, to me, it's Carling. Like all of these things, they've just completely lost their meaning.
Because they need sponsors for these things, like the Papa John's Trophy.
Oh no! And it's just, to me, if the fans carry on supporting these teams like it's not happened, what was the point? They should have just let them go to the Super League. And the thing that will get me the most is if there is no penalisation for what's happened, next year they'll think they threatened us with this and that, didn't come through with any of it, so let's just do it anyway. Because if like UEFA, the FA, if these companies don't now back up what they've said about there being fines, about there's being deductions, about all this and that, what's going to stop them from doing it next year? Because they'll think, oh, they made that threat to me last year, it was an empty threat, carry on and do it, boys, nothing's going to happen.
Well, it's like all the FFP stuff, like the Champions League, like Man City, like they appealed and they got away with it. PSG have done the same appeal and got away with it. Like if you can appeal and get away with it, you're just going to keep doing it. It's just the same with like life and any format.
Exactly.
If you get away with it, you're going to keep doing it.
It's like you're a naughty kid.
Yeah.
And you've got you instead of like it's like you've been positively reinforced for bad behaviour. Your mum's giving you a lollipop instead of giving you a smack on the arse. Send them all to the naughty side.
I don't think they will get penalised for it. I know they won't.
Oh, I don't think they will, and that is when I can't be arsed with it.
So the thing winds me up as well. Like if the Super League did go ahead, they were talking about like promoting 6 teams from the Championship.
No, I know.
And then 6 teams from League One, and it's so annoying, especially as like a Coventry fan.
Well, you've had to fight for survival.
We have just strung 3 wins together out of nowhere. Like I think it's like 4 out of 5 wins. Like, and we're now pretty much like guaranteed to be safe now, and then that would all be for nothing because every team would stay up.
And this is exactly what I said. I've got nothing against Sheffield United. Obviously, I'm not a huge fan of West Brom, and I really like Fulham.
Yeah.
But if those teams are the teams that deserve to get relegated and they end up staying up on a technicality, I'd be fuming. They don't deserve to be there.
What's the point of having a competition? There's no
exactly, and you're going to promote Barnsley to the Premier League. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. Barnsley have been on a superb run.
And if Barnsley got through the playoffs, fair play to them.
Yeah, exactly. They have exactly how people have been saying Champions League earn it on the back of their shirts at Leeds, but it's the same to be in the Premier League, to be relegated. You've earned that. You've earned to be relegated because you've not played well enough. And you've earned to come up because you've been superb, or you've earned to be in Europa League or Champions League. Like, say, West Ham, bloody hell, they've completely changed their form around. And if they got handed, I know for a fact, if they got handed Champions League, like on a technicality, the fact it feels like nothing. It feels like they've achieved nothing. And
they've missed loads of the Champions League, like the big teams.
Exactly, because they've all gone to Super League, and it's empty. It's empty, and it's heartless, and it's soulless.
It's been a very that's soul-destroying week as a football fan.
Yeah, it's made me question a lot.
But also, I think we've also seen the positives of social media this week in the sense that everyone's just been grouped together.
Oh yeah,
football fans are actually united on something.
It's the only time in my life that I've seen like, a Liverpool United and like Leeds and Chelsea and Villa and Wolves and West Brom all in harmony over the fact that these are working class clubs, and we've had that right of being like normal people basically taken away from us. And that's just completely unfair.
And all the protests outside the ground and stuff.
And it's all of it's valid. All of it was valid.
I think we need to push these stupid owners out who are just full of greed and not about what this game is about.
Because I feel like Wolves obviously came out and said, "Oh, we don't we condemn the Super League and all that." But I feel like if Fosun got offered it, they probably would have taken it. Because that's the thing, the owners don't know how much it means to the fans.
Well, this is where you've got to credit teams like Bayern Munich or the German teams. You've got to credit them.
Well, that's what I want to happen is
50-1.
Where you have like 51% of the club is owned by the fans.
Yeah.
But that why can't that happen over here?
It should, but I just can't see it.
Well, that's probably more going into the realms of like government stuff and. I can't be bothered with that, Bojo. I just can't.
Well, but like as much on, I'm not into politics, but like I'm very glad that he tried to crack down on that as well. Like everyone was against it. The royal family and stuff.
I mean, saying that though, that's probably because it's one of the biggest tourism industries in our country.
Big income of the economy.
Well, if people aren't buying the half and half scarves at Tottenham versus United, then where's the money coming from?
I'm sorry, if they half and half scarf, they probably have chocolate in the fridge. And that is not a good thing. Anyone who puts chocolate in the fridge deserves to be hung.
Or ketchup in the fridge.
Uh-oh.
Ketchup. Right, we've hit a wall on that note, ladies and gentlemen.
Because I think you should, when you first buy it, fine, have it in the cupboard, but once you've opened it, put it in the fridge.
No, it just goes in the cupboard.
Well, you put chocolate in the fridge anyway, don't you?
No, I put chocolate in the cupboard. We have this conversation every day. I put chocolate in the cupboard.
But it's just very important to me.
What? Chocolate goes in the cupboard because I do not want to break my teeth.
I don't like this.
You go to bite into it.
People like the snap. Oh, you bunch of weirdos. Anyway, I think we should look forward. Hopefully, bigger and better things to come from it. We've learned a few lessons. This weekend's fixtures.
Right.
We're on Friday.
Start with Cov.
Yeah, so we have won 3 on the bounce. We are over 50 points. We are almost guaranteed to be safe, and I'm buzzing. I can't believe it. This weekend we've got Preston at home, and honestly, Preston are not like they're very beatable. I think we can beat them. I think. Well, I don't know what the scores in the previous match.
They just beat Derby 3-0 though, Preston.
Yeah, but Derby are on Derby are on a free fall.
Could Derby get relegated?
Yes, it's like I genuinely think it's between Derby and Rotherham now, and momentum wise.
I know we go to university in Derby, but bloody hell, I hope out of them and Rotherham, send Derby down.
Well, isn't it rumoured that Rooney could be leaving? Who knows?
I always forget he's manager.
He's still quite young, right? Like he's younger than Ronaldo. So we've got Preston. I think that's a very winnable game, especially the form we're in. We've got a lot of momentum. I think now it's just about getting as high position as possible. We can actually go above Preston this week. I mean, the fact that we're 16th is baffling because I was like, we're going to get relegated 2 weeks ago.
For us, we've won 2 on the bounce now.
Yeah, 2 clean sheets, was it?
Yeah. However, there is rumours, buzz, that Nuno could be on his way to Tottenham.
Wait, what do you think about that?
Right.
The likelihood of it?
I don't really know. I genuinely will think he'll leave this summer. Whether that's for Tottenham, Lord knows. But I don't want him to leave. I don't want him to go.
I don't think you should. There's like... Because you remember the good parts of what's happening yesterday.
Exactly. It's been a while since we've had good times. And ultimately, this is not me saying that there's not issues, because bloody hell there are issues. And it does come down to management. right? So I'm not saying that he's the best thing since sliced bread. However, I don't think this season is worth letting him go for.
No, there's been a lot going on.
Yeah, that's just my opinion.
I think it's about getting over the line and just moving on.
We've got Burnley at home on Sunday, 12 o'clock kickoff.
Well, to be fair, but I think the three in the bottom three will go down. Obviously, Sheffield United are already down, but Burnley are not as safe as they looked. They're 17th and they're 6 points above Fulham, which is comfortable, and they've got a game in hand, but you never know.
The only thing with this game is Burnley, and we always have some dodgy always, without fail, there is a VAR controversy with Burnley, so that's what I'm expecting, and I'm kind of going to go for like a 1-1, 0-0 kind of game. However, if we lose this game, and that means it's because we're going to put 5 past West Brom next week, then I'll take it.
Would that relegate them?
Yes.
But you love to relegate West Brom.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It is. I don't want to get, because that game when we played them at home, talk about bloody controversy. Do you know what I mean?
Crazy.
So, I'd rather beat West Brom than any other team in the league. So, I'll go for like a 1-1 kind of situation with that. Do you want to predict all the scores on the doors?
Yeah, we'll do a Premier League prediction. Obviously, it's Cup final weekend as well, so we'll do that.
Right, Cup final
first. Spurs, Man City. Obviously, there's a really obvious pick. There's a bit
City.
Yeah, I think you'd have to go City, but you never know. Like,
I kind of want Spurs to win, just so that.
Ryan Mason.
Oh yeah, because he looks so sweet. And if he wins a trophy, that's less chance they're going to get Nuno in. So.
Well, I think they'll get that the Leipzig manager Nagelsmann. I think they will.
Right. Okay. I want City to win.
I want Spurs to win. But I think my gut feeling says it has to be City. It's like 4 seasons in a row then, would it?
Yeah. Right, I'll go City.
So the first game of the weekend is actually today on Friday. Arsenal, Everton.
I want Everton to win.
Yeah, but what do you think?
2-1 Everton.
I think Arsenal will win that one. 2-1 Arsenal. Then you've got on Saturday you've got Liverpool, Newcastle. And Newcastle's starting to pull some results together.
That West Ham result was huge.
Yeah, the return of St Maxim's a lot for them.
And saying that Liverpool are falling off the wheels a little bit again, so I could see that being a 1-1.
I think Liverpool will win 3-1. I don't have too much.
Right, I'll go draw to be controversial.
They've got West Ham, Chelsea. That's a huge game in the context of Champions League. I know I want to win.
I want West Ham to win.
Me too. Even regardless of Jack and stuff.
Yeah. I'll do a ye old 3-2 to West Ham.
Well,
but I hope that they're losing 2-0 and then they come back and score for
change. I'm going to say 1-1. And then there's Sheffield United, Brighton.
I know Sheffield have obviously gone down.
I think they'll win.
But I actually do think they'll win this.
You do find once the team's been relegated because the pressure's off.
Because, there's still kind of pressure on Brighton.
They're not safe yet.
No. Until it is categorically... West Brom are gone, right? It's not mathematically done, but they can't... they're just gone. Especially they've lost 3-0 today to Leicester. So I do think if Brighton went on a bad run and Fulham won the rest of their games, what's stopping them? Do you know what I mean?
And also, you'll find Sheffield, they have nothing to lose. They just play with their free
Exactly. They're literally just playing to have a kickabout. So I'll go Sheffield United.
You've got Wolves, Burnley, which we discussed.
I'll go 1-1. We've got Leeds, Man United, which the last time they played it was 7 something, wasn't it? 6-2. Yeah. But Leeds...
There will be goals.
Leeds are pulling their socks up a lot at the minute, especially against big teams. So
there's guaranteed because then also United are really good away from home.
I'll say United will win, but I'll say Leeds will be winning, and then United will get a penalty for something stupid, as per usual.
I think it'll be a draw, but a good draw, a good exciting draw. Then you got Villa West Brom.
See, this is the thing, but West Brom have got Villa this game and then us next game.
No, so they can't be relegated this weekend, but they could be relegated the weekend after.
Yeah, but we play on Monday.
That's weird, so you could relegate them.
We play, because we played the 3rd of May.
That's mad.
It's like 2 games, 3 games before the end of the season, 4 games before
4 games.
Yeah, I don't know. But I'll say Villa to win that. 2-1.
Yeah. But we're not close to Grealish to return.
Oh, I don't know. See, that is another situation.
The final game of the weekend is at Leicester Palace.
Leicester.
You've just got to go Leicester. Right?
Yeah, Leicester, 100%.
I mean, I'd like to cruise to the Champions League now. It'd be really nice to have Leicester and West Ham in the Champions League, especially after everything that's happened.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for listening to this kind of 2-parter, a bit different.
Yeah.
We broke up.
Yeah.
Sorry for the wait, but we know
our adoring fans. The real ones will be nervous about where it is, but we're here.
We've got to take advantage of these pubs,
But thank you so much for listening, and for your continued support. We really do appreciate it, because this is just like a
bit of fun, a bit of
a lot of people we know do these things like for their course, etc.
We've hopped on the bandwagon, but for genuinely just for a laugh and a giggle, and I've enjoyed it.
Just to talk, and I'm enjoying it, and I always said to everybody I'd never in my life do a podcast.
You're not a fan of podcasts, are you?
No, I'm not at all.
Yeah, well, but
and if you're not a fan of this podcast, can't blame you either. So
just don't dislike the video.
On that note, Feliz Navidad.
Have a nice weekend.
And have a good one.
Ta-ra.
Ta-ra.